Hi, my name's Sammy, aka Fortune Boy, and this is the Flight Iris Tenor. Hello there. A little bit of deja vu. You've seen me review this almost exact ukulele in this almost exact setting in this exactly the same t-shirt before. So let's talk about what's new with these guys. Now, about 2 weeks ago, Flight announced that basically they're releasing the Flight Iris, but in a tenor and a baritone size. As a tenor player, this got me very excited because I love the original Iris very much, but it's my only concert-sized ukulele. So it's still nice to play because it has a slightly bigger 36mm note width on the concert, and that was great. But these tenors and baritones kind of bring everything I loved about the original Iris, but into a bigger size. So the first thing is, let's talk about actually what's different apart from the size. All three ukuleles have the same woods, they all have the same bridge, they all have the same fretboards, but basically the difference is on the tenor and the baritone, we've upgraded to a 38mm nut width, which is a very Flight standard, especially on their higher series, their Princess and the other series that I remember the name of. And for me as a fingerstyle player, I love the wide nut and it's my comfortable to go to now. Now, aside from the body difference, the other difference is that on the tenor and the baritone, they both come with a strap button installed. So on the concert, they didn't, and on the baritone and the tenor, they do. So I thought it was worth mentioning because that's kind of, if you want to install a strap, that makes it a little bit easier. Apart from that, we're pretty much looking at the same ukuleles, but bigger. Right, so let's have a look at the specs on the Flight Iris ukuleles. So we have a solid spruce top with laminate mahogany back and sides. This version and the baritone only come in the black and blue emo color, which for me is no problem because I absolutely love it. But I guess for some people, they might not want the shocking blue, and that's totally fine, but it's only available in this colorway, which again, personally for me, is the best colorway. And whilst the matte black is a beautiful finish, by God, does it attract fingerprints. So this will be a ukulele you clean more than you play, but when you do play it, you'll enjoy it. There's also a really nice cream colored binding between the top and the sides. It's very nice. I'm a big fan of basically the irises and how they look. And again, for a ukulele, we're talking about around 150 euros. They look and sound much nicer than they should. The tenor body size is pretty much exactly the same as any of the recent Flight tenor releases. So if you looked at a Nighthawk, a Fireball, anything like that, I think even the Dianas, the body size is exactly the same. So it's kind of, if you play that body shape, you kind of know how it feels. Onto the neck, we have a rosewood fingerboard, and we have these offset fret markers again. So in all the usual places, but the offset, I'm a big fan of. I think, as I said in the concert review, it seems to be, again, a very typical thing of Flight for them to be offset. I think it just makes it look smarter. We have the same open slotted headstock, and this headstock is a glossy finish rather than matte. And it's got the same rear-facing de Jong, I think I'm saying that wrong always, but de Jong tuners. On the original Iris, they've held me out absolutely perfectly over the year. They're great tuners, and on this one, they seem to be absolutely no different. The strings that come attached are Japanese carbon fiber, is what it says on Flight's website. But usually I'd strip them straight off and put some uke logics on. As I'm borrowing these two ukes from Flight, I've promised not to restring them and use the strings that are there so I can send them straight back. All the irises also come with this kind of denim blue Flight Gigbag. They're cool. I think it says they've got 15mm padded, so I'd always prefer to put it in something a little bit more padded, but again, at this price point, it's great that we're getting a Gigbag kind of included with it, but it absolutely does the job, and it works. A great front pocket on it. It's a Gigbag. Right, so there we have it. Those are all the specs of the tenor, and not surprisingly, it's everything I loved about the original concert-sized, but for me, in a much more comfortable factor. Very I'm very annoyed at myself that I've got the concert is my goer because I promised to Flight I would borrow these, not keep them, and send them back just because my collection is growing now and I'll need a bigger place. So, but in all honesty, the tenor is so nice to play and so comfortable, whether that's just because I love tenors more than concerts. But this genuinely feels like playing my other Flight tenor models. It's really, really comfortable, great action, and sounds good. So there's a lot of me that's considering replacing my concert with the tenor, but for the moment, I am definitely sending it back. So, as I've said probably a million times now, I always use uke Logic strings on all my ukuleles. So whenever you hear the sound samples, that's what's going on for here. Again, as Flight have kindly sent these to me, so I'm borrowing them for the moment. I'm going to keep the original strings on it so you can have a listen to what it sounds like literally pulled straight out the box and out the shelf. So there we go. That's the Flight Iris Tenor taken through my little stress test. So So the thing about this ukulele is that I found it extremely comfortable to play, both in action, size, and everything like that. Considering the retail prices are 150, 160 euros we're looking at currently, again, it doesn't feel like I'm playing a ukulele for that price, as in I'm happy to sit here and play it, and it doesn't feel like I'm dying, or it doesn't feel like any of my skills are hampered because the action isn't set up, or basically that, anything to do with the nut width or playability. Okay, so as always, I'm going to pit this kid versus 3 other flight ukuleles at different price points. We're going to go versus the Flight Diana, which has a solid top, laminate sides. I'm then going to put it against a Flight Fireball, which is all solid mango. And then finally versus the Flight A10, which is all solid flamed maple. And again, price points, we're kind of going from the 150 euro mark to the 300 euro mark to the 600 euro mark to the 1200 euro mark. So you get to hear the difference between all of these and see what you think. So all the ukes and the sound samples will have Uke Logic soft tension strings on them. As I said and explained, this kit is going to have the original strings that it shipped out with on it. Again, they're just not my preference of strings, so I think they'll be fine for the average person. But yeah, for me, there's a sound difference, a big sound difference between these and something like the Uke Logics. Cool. And there we have it. That was the Flight Iris Tenor model. Now, let's not confuse ourselves, okay? This is not pretending to be a premium ukulele at all, okay? It does not feel like a premium ukulele at all. But it does not feel like a sub 200, 300 euro ukulele either. If you're someone who needs a second uke, basically if you want a low G uke, or if you're a low G player and you want a high G player, then these would make an excellent addition for not a lot of money. Thanks again to Flight for sending me this model and the baritone model. Baritone review will be coming very soon. But if there are any other Flight ukulele models you would like me to show off and review, please drop them in the comments. Flight have agreed with me that I can ask for whatever I like and they'll send it to me for review. So I'm a very excited boy for that. But honestly, I think I'm going to have to go on that Flight Comet next. That's going to be our next skid. Thanks so much for listening to me and listening to the Flight Iris. Please like the video if it was helpful, subscribe if you want to see more reviews, and essentially me attack the ukulele pretty much every day. Thanks so much. I've been Fortune Boy. Bye-bye.